On a day-to-day basis, my head is just going at 1,000 miles an hour. I get really bad anxiety. I'm always having to pre-plan everything. But when I'm at football, all I need to do is just go and kick a ball about. So I don't have the 1,000 miles an hour going around in my head, and it's really quiet. If I didn't have football, I think I would be an absolute mess, and I wouldn't actually know what I'd do with my life. I kind of thought that there was something not right when I was in school. I got tested for dyslexia, and then I have dyslexia, but I always knew that there was something else. Went through the autism process, and then maybe about 6 months later they were like, yeah, you're autistic. I'm relieved that I got the diagnosis. It all just started making sense. At the end of the day, I can't change who I am, and if I'm different, I'm different. Firstly, I was a gymnast, and then I didn't want to do it anymore. Mum made me hand in my own notice when I was like 5, 6. And then when my stepdad came into my life, he used to play football, so I kind of followed him. He got me my first pair of gloves with my name on it for Christmas, and then went in goal for my first tournament. And I never left being in goal since, really. Ben had a massive impact in my football career, and then really ever since the day he died, it was kind of, I always wanted to follow him and his footsteps and always make sure he'd be proud of me. When I was playing at Southampton, I thought that was just going to be my life. I was just going to stay at Southampton. Getting released when I was 14, 15, everything just stopped. Me and my mum had no idea what to do. Been there for nearly 6 years, and we were just so shocked by it. Then we obviously went to Arsenal. I did one training session with them and then one internal game with them, and then the manager sat me down after the game and was like, yeah, we want to offer you. So it was a very quick turnaround, but it was a very stressful period. Me and Mum cried after we got the news because obviously I was 16 and had to move away. But I knew that if I didn't take the opportunity, I would not be here right now. I wouldn't have got my first professional contract. I wouldn't have played for England. So it was a sacrifice that needed to be made, and I wouldn't change it for anything. It was a dream, but it was scary. It was difficult. It was a big transition for me. Obviously had to live away from home. The first 2 years was really tough. I didn't really leave my room that much.
When she went to Arsenal, she moved away. That was very difficult because we obviously didn't realise she was autistic at the time. So socially she really struggled. I used to drive up every Saturday morning, bring her home, took her back Sunday night just for that reset.
I only spoke about being autistic after I left Arsenal. So Oxford is the only club that I willingly went and told. Oxford are the only club that are aware of it, and they've been amazing about it, and it's something that I'm not ashamed of anymore. Back then, because I didn't understand it and there was no diagnosis, there wasn't any way that anyone could help me, so I felt I didn't feel alone, but I felt very much really confused as to why I deal with things differently to other people. I get really bad anxiety, I get really red in the face, and I just stutter, and my words don't come out properly. Or I will just resort to the other side, I will just not say anything, I'll just go really silent, and I'll avoid talking to them as much as possible, which means I get so tired and drained really easily. I just get really angry, and then I want to cry. That is when I'm really overstimulated. I'm relieved that I got the diagnosis. There was this switch. I felt normal. It was a massive sigh of relief of I can now understand me more as a person and why I do things differently, and then I can adapt, and then I can talk to people, and I can just kind of find coping mechanisms into helping me.
She isn't the typical autistic person because everyone thinks they are just numbers and data and things like that, whereas Maddison looks normal. She acts normal, but she masks it. So when we were telling our friends and family, they just couldn't understand. She's autistic, how?
I feel like people may not openly talk about it because they'll feel judged. I feel like people who are autistic but won't say anything is because I feel like people will say, well, you don't look autistic, or yeah, but you're successful, how can you be autistic?
If I look back to when I met Mads in the summer, she came in for kind of a media day, and you can just see the panic across her face. She very quickly said to me, look, I've got autism, and I didn't know that at the time. She said, I've got autism and I find it kind of very difficult socially. She said, so coming to a new team, she said, I'm really quite nervous about it. But to be fair, she said, one thing that I'm going to concentrate really hard is to put myself out there to the team really early so everybody knows about it, and just making everyone aware. But over probably the 6, 7, 8 months that we've known her, she's really settled within the group. She tries really hard to communicate with everybody. We want to be inclusive. We want to make everyone feel welcome here. Like, if you can play football, if you've got the right attitude, and if you have the talent, then why should something like that stop you? And we just want to make kind of everyone feel like that.
It's relieving that I've told them and that they understand, because I don't have to focus on the outside things as well as like me explaining to them that I'm autistic. I don't have to plan anything, I just have to turn up and it's all sorted for me. The session plan's done, all I need to do is just go and kick a ball about. And that is, so I don't have the 1,000 miles an hour going around in my head, and it's relaxing as well because I don't have to think about anything. There's actually nothing that goes around in my head when I'm playing football. The only thing that might go through my head is when I'm having to communicate with defenders. That's probably the only thing in my head that I need to think about. But other than that, my brain is just completely dead.
So you just start thinking about the ball?
Yep, thinking about the ball, think about making sure no goal, I'm letting a goal. That's it.
Every parent's proud of their child, but to know what she's achieved, being autistic, losing people in her life at such a young age, and still pushing herself on, that resilience is what I'm proud of. Everything else that she achieves with the football is secondary to that, because I think if you work hard, you've got that resilience and that nature, that drive, and she's a good person, anything else that comes is just the reward of that. So I'm really very proud of Maddison, the person she is and everything she's achieved.
It's so much more enjoyable going to football with them understanding now. I feel so happy. As soon as I kick a ball, hold a ball, it's just amazing, and I will keep on doing that.